Welcome to video 4 of the tidyr lecture. In this lecture, we're going to talk about dealing with missing values. There's going to be two types of missing values we're going to be dealing with. Explicitly missing, which have NAs, or those that are implicitly missing. In other words, the row may be missing, that combination is missing, but we can't tell that obviously by just looking at the data. For instance, let's take a look at the following tibble. So here I'm setting up stocks as a tibble. And if I look, it has one explicit NA. That would be here. Explicit means it's shown. But I can also notice, if I'm careful, I can see that Q1 of 2016 is just missing. It is not shown at all. So there's no NA there for that. So if I would like to fix that, I can use the complete command, where in this case I am just completing year and quarter. And I can see it added that in. Now if I had not had Q1 for 2015, it would not have known to add it for 2016. But because I had those 4 quarters for 1 year, it was going to put them all for the other year. And you can see now I have made that implicit NA explicit. Sometimes I may have a situation, here's a more interesting data set, if you will. I still have implicit missing values in this data frame. So the data frame looks like this. Now in this case, the item ID and the item name are really go together. So item ID 1 has the name A. So I don't want every combination of 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, because 2 goes with B, 1 goes with A. But I would like to be sure I have each item for each group. So I can see group 1 has the first item and the second item. Group 2 only has the second item. So I would like a line that has the first item for group 2 added. But because those are go together, I am going to nest. I'm going to say I want to complete the group. So the group is what I want to complete by nesting together these items. So I can see if I do that, then I have added a row for the first item for group 2 with NAs in it. Now I can also give an option to the complete verb called fill. So I'm telling it, in this fill, I'm saying give value 1, rather than giving it an NA, give it a 0 in those cases. So it still gives value 2 an NA, but you see now value 1 has been added with a 0. You are now going to do the same sort of thing with the data set that I gave you. This is exercise 9. So you are going to take this data set, which I'm calling output. And you see now I have genders, which is a factor variable, and I have 3 different treatments. And I want to expand this so that I'm showing returns of NA for each treatment for each gender. Okay, so you're going to use complete to do that. So another thing we can do with missing values is that we can remove the explicit NAs using pivot longer and dropping any NAs. So we can use, here I'm taking stocks, I'm pivoting them wider, and then I'm taking that result and pivoting it longer. I'll tell you what, let's do this in pieces. Let's just do the pivot wider first. And now I have made those explicit. And then I'm going to take that result and pivot longer with dropping the NAs. And that way I've gotten rid of the NAs that were in my data set to begin with. Another option I can use is I can use fill, and what fill is going to do is it's going to fill in return, in this case, with whatever the previous value was. So when one is missing, it's going to fill in the NA with what was there before. So you see, it did not do anything to the implicit NAs, right? If I wanted to do that, I would have to complete it first and then fill. But what it has done is it's replaced the NA with the previous value. So let's see, we could take stocks and we could complete it first. Right, giving us those things. Then we could go back and take that result, and then we could fill, oops, let's do a new line, fill the return. Oops. You see, now I have added that extra row, and I have filled those with the previous results. The last function we can use is replace underscore NA, where we can replace the NA values in our table with other items. So for instance, I will save as df2 my completed data frame from above. So this is what df2 now looks like, right, where I completed the groups and the treatments and so forth. And now I could replace the NAs, and I can specify what I want to replace it with for any value or each of the values. So here I have replaced value 1 NAs with 0, value 2 NAs with the word unknown. That's the completion of this video. Please complete those exercises and then come back for the next video.